This video is on Is Today Really Yours? Let's dive right in. Hey, what's up? I'm Dr. TJ, a surgeon who graduated from Harvard. This channel is all about you. Hey everyone, before we dive in, if what you're about to hear changes how you see today, hit that like button, subscribe. It is free, so you never miss content like this, and share this with someone who needs to hear it right now. Stay with me until the very end, because I promise you the ending of this story will stop you cold. Let's go. Let me ask you something. When you woke up this morning, did you own the day? Or did the day own you? Most people roll out of bed, grab their phone before their feet hit the floor, scroll through someone else's life, someone else's wins, someone else's urgency, and before they've even had a glass of water, the day already belongs to everyone but them. But here's what nobody tells you. Today, this exact day is the only one you are absolutely 100% guaranteed to have. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. And there is a man whose story will prove that to you in a way you will never forget. I'm not going to tell you his name yet, but by the time I do, everything will click. First, let us look at the golden years. Picture this. A young man, 21 years old, starts a company out of a garage in Los Altos, California. The year is 1976. He has no college degree. He has almost no money. What he does have is a vision so clear, so sharp, so ahead of its time that most people around him simply cannot see it yet. Within 4 years, that little garage idea becomes a publicly traded company valued at over $1.2 billion at its IPO in December 1980. It is one of the largest IPOs in history up to that point. He is on the cover of magazines. The world calls him a genius. People call him a visionary. He graces the covers of Time and Business Week. He is the face of the personal computer revolution. He is living proof that if you dream big enough and work hard enough, the world will bend towards you. He believes deeply, fundamentally, that technology should be beautiful, that it should feel human, that the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do. He is by every measure winning, and he knows it. His ideas are in millions of homes. His company is changing the world. Everything is going exactly as planned. He is cruising until the day it all fell apart. Next, let us look at the fall. In 1983, a man made a decision that would come back to haunt him. He brought in an experienced corporate executive to help run the company, a man named John Scully, who had been the CEO of Pepsi. He convinced Scully to join with one of the most famous recruiting lines in business history. He said, "Do you want to sell sugared water for the rest of your life? Or do you want to come with me and change the world?" End quote. Scully came, but by 1985, the relationship had collapsed. There were power struggles, boardroom battles. The company's board sided with Scully. And in a move that stunned the business world, he was fired. Not laid off, not reassigned, fired from the company he built, from the company that bore his vision, from the company he had sacrificed everything for. He was 30 years old. Imagine that for a moment. Imagine building something from nothing, from a garage, turning it into one of the most valuable companies on earth. and then being walked out the door. Years later, reflecting on the day they pushed him out, he said something that surprised everyone. "I didn't see it then, but getting fired turned out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to me." End quote. But in 1985, he didn't know that yet. He was publicly humiliated. The press was brutal. People questioned whether he had ever been the real genius behind the company. His confidence was shattered. His identity, the thing he had built himself around, was gone. He later admitted he even thought about leaving Silicon Valley entirely. And here's where most people would have stopped. Here's where most people would have said, "Today is not mine. Today has been taken from me. Today is ruined." But he did not stop. Instead, he made today his anyway. He took the humiliation and turned it into fuel. He founded a new computer company called Next. He invested in a small, struggling animation studio that most people thought was a bad bet, a little company called Pixar. While the world watched and waited for him to fail again, he quietly got to work. He later said something that would become one of his most celebrated insights. "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." End quote. And he meant every word, because today, even when it looked like the worst day of his life, was still his. He was still in it, still breathing, still creating. The question was never whether he had today. The question was what he would do with it. Finally, now let us look at the return. 12 years passed. While he was gone, his original company slowly declined. By 1997, it was weeks away from bankruptcy. The stock price had cratered. The press was writing its obituary. And then, in one of the most dramatic comebacks in the history of business, the company bought Next, his new venture, for $429 million. He came home and everything changed. His name? Steve Jobs. Within 1 year of his return, he had restructured the entire company. He slashed failing product lines. He made deals that saved the business. He signed a truce with a rival company, namely Microsoft, that kept the lights on. Then he got to work, building the future. In 1998, the iMac. In 2001, the iPod. In 2003, iTunes. In 2007, he walked onto a stage in San Francisco and said these words, "Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone," end quote. And he held up a small glass rectangle, the iPhone. It wasn't just a phone, it was the most transformative consumer device in human history. It changed communication, commerce, art, music, and daily life for billions of people. All of it was possible because one man refused to let one terrible day define what today meant. Yes, Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, founder of Next, the man who turned Pixar from a struggling graphics division into an Oscar-winning animation studio. The man who returned from exile to build the most valuable company in the world. The man who, despite being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2003, showed up every single day and kept building. Knowing his time was finite, he died on October 5th, 2011 at age 56. But he never stopped owning his today, not once. Steve Jobs once said something that I want you to carry with you today. Every morning for years, he would look in the mirror and ask himself one question: if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? He said that whenever the answer was no, for too many days in a row, he knew something had to change. That question is not morbid. It's not dark. It is the most clarifying question you will ever ask yourself, because it cuts through the noise, it cuts through the inbox and the scroll and the to-do list and the fear, and it asks you the one thing that matters. Is today really yours? Not your bosses, not your fears, not your past, not the algorithms. Yours. You woke up today. Steve Jobs at 56 did not get to. That is not meant to make you feel guilty. It is meant to make you feel awake. Here's your call to action. And I mean that literally. Right now, before this video ends, I want you to do one thing. Think of the one thing you have been putting off. The phone call, the project, the conversation, the dream you've been dragging your feet on for weeks or months or years. Write it down or say it loud right now. That thing, that's where today starts. Steve Jobs didn't wait for the perfect moment. He made the moment with a garage, with rejection, with cancer, with whatever today handed him. You have today. The only question is, what will you do with it? If the story moved you, please hit that like button right now. It helps more people find this message. Subscribe. It is free, so you don't miss what's coming next. And most importantly, share this video with one person in your life who needs to hear the Steve Jobs story told this way. You might change their entire day. I will see you in the next one. But before the end of this video, here is your challenge. For the next 7 days, ask yourself Steve Jobs' mirror question every morning. If today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? Then act accordingly. Tag us, tell us what changed. Here's your question loud and clear. Is today really yours? Right now, somewhere, someone is fighting with everything they have just to have one more day. A day exactly like the one you almost threw away this morning. Don't you dare waste it. Because one day, nobody knows which day, it will be the last sunrise, the last chance, the last today. That day is coming for all of us, but it is not today. Today you are still here, still breathing, still capable of something the world doesn't even have a name for yet. So stop waiting, stop shrinking, stop letting fear write your story. Is that dream terrorizing you from the inside? Remember that fear is not a stop sign. That is the starting gun. Steve Jobs took every day he had, the brilliant ones, the devastating ones, the ones where everything collapsed, and he made every single one of them his own. Now it is your turn. History does not remember the people who waited. History remembers the people who moved, who took action, who made it happen. Make that decision right now. The world has been waiting long enough for you. Then go make your mark. Not for the fame, not for the fortune, not the single mother who needs hope, for the child who needs a hero, for the world that desperately needs you. Leave it better, leave it brighter, leave it forever changed because you were here. Make today yours.